I'd like to turn the mic over to Jolene Noble. So Jolene Noble is the Sustainability Extension Coordinator. This is a brand new position created near the end of May this year, and it's a cooperative effort from all of the 4 crop commissions here in Alberta. So we're very, very excited to have Jolene here, and she'll talk very briefly a little bit about her background and maybe the path forward in her role. So with that, Jolene.
Thanks, Monica. As she mentioned, my name is Jolene Noble, and I'm a little far from home. I farm up in the Peace Country. I'm an hour north of Peace River, so a ways from home, but have been working in the Calgary area for the past few years and recently moved home to take a more active role in the farm. We have a mixed operation, grain, grass seed, and cow-calf, and a family operation. We're on my grandpa's original homestead. In terms of what I do for my off-farm job, I'm the Sustainability Extension Coordinator for the Alberta Farm Sustainability Extension Working Group, which is the biggest mouthful I've ever heard. And just to make it more complicated, I work for 4 different commissions: Alberta Wheat, Barley, Pulse, and Canola. So when people ask me what I do, I ask them if they have 5 minutes of their life to spend with me. But it has been a very exciting journey so far, and it is great to see in the cropping sector. I'm new to the industry side of things, the commission side of things, and it's great to see 4 commissions working together on a common goal. It's great to see our levy dollars being used in such a way, as a producer myself, and contributing to those funds and using all 4 of those crops. It's nice to see that we're making best use of our funds. The project is also funded by Growing Forward too. The Alberta government has an interest in what we're doing and are excited to see forward movement in this area. And I know I've talked to a number of people, and myself included, sustainability can be an interesting word in the farming community, and maybe one that we don't use too often, but seems to be a buzzword in the rest of society. And sustainability has become more and more prominent. And when you look at search engines on the internet and marketing campaigns and other language around product, sustainability crops up more and more. And sustainability is more than just making sure you're being environmental stewards. Sustainability does have 3 pillars, and that's environmental, social, and economic. It takes all 3 to keep a farming operation going. And of course, farmers have a vested interest in being sustainable and making sure that that operation is around for the next generation, as well as the next few years as you continue on with not only your day-to-day work, but farmers also have a passion for what they do, or else we wouldn't be in it. So along with sustainability comes the term social license, and social license to operate. And that has to do with more or less being allowed to farm the land and produce the product that we do in the way that we do. And as hard as that is to hear, as a producer myself, I farm because I'm my own boss. I love to be my own boss. I love to make my own decisions. And it's great to be able to do work with your hands and produce a product that you feel very confident in and very proud of at the end of the day. But the reality is that the agriculture community is only 2% of the population. The other 98%, even if they're only 1 generation removed from the farm, quite oftentimes there's a lack of understanding about how we do things and how we produce that product and exactly what we do on a day-to-day basis. And that chocolate milk doesn't come from brown cows, because my goodness, after a week in Stampede, you could hear just about everything. So along with that, it's not only 98% of the population doesn't have that farming background or isn't actively involved in agriculture. The other way to look at it is 98% of constituents also don't have the understanding around where their food comes from and what is needed in our agriculture community. And 98% of constituents can quite oftentimes make a lot more noise than the agriculture community with only 2%. Our commissions do an excellent job of working on our behalf, and the directors of these commissions on making sure that our voice is heard on the Hill and in Parliament. But at the end of the day, there's still a number of constituents that aren't involved in agriculture. And so that's where our social license comes in. As much as we will have pressure on social media and in media about what we do, we also have to be cognizant of what those voices can turn into in terms of policy. And so that's why we need to take a proactive stance. And I'm not saying everybody has to go and start a blog tomorrow. That's not for everyone. There are those that do, and I greatly appreciate their efforts on behalf of the agriculture community. But there's other things we can do as well. And so telling our story is an excellent start, but bring it back to farm level. Making sure that we are using best management practices, and I mean that's why you're here today, to learn more and to keep moving forward on your operations. But consumers also feel that their vote is most clearly heard with their pocketbook when they go to the grocery store. And so at that grocery store, they're buying whatever product they think will be beneficial to workers, maybe on the social end of the scale, our environment, the greenest product, because green is another buzzword out there. But they're looking to make an impact with their pocketbook and their purchasing decisions. And they don't necessarily take the time to read peer-reviewed science or make sure that the information that's coming across Facebook is from a reputable source and not from the Food Babe or Dr. Oz or whoever it may be. And maybe not understanding where that information comes from and the economics behind some of our celebrities and what they endorse. So that makes things difficult. They're getting misinformation and they're making decisions based on that. They're also making decisions on labels and different claims around sustainability and what's green. And so we're noticing more and more of that, and retailers are responding to that. Quite often in the news, we're hearing a new company, whether it's a restaurant or a major retailer, start sourcing through some other standard or some other program developed who knows where. And so we're seeing more and more of that, but we're also seeing some really good sustainability standards coming to light. Ones that actually do have agriculture producers and industry reps involved in the making of these. And we're also seeing some major retailers come on board with them and start using them as it's in their best interest, and it's also a marketing ploy with consumers to ensure that our agriculture community moves forward. And so we're seeing things around the Sustainable Agriculture Initiative is a big one out of Europe. That's also an international one. We're seeing Unilever is sourcing through a sustainability program as well. And so we're seeing more and more of these come online. So that's where the working group that I'm employed through has been born. There was an initial survey that was done in pilot project last spring. Kevin was a part of that, and a number of directors from the four commissions were involved. But we wanted to expand that and have actionable data. And so we combined for the most well-known and agriculturally correct, if that's a term I can use here, it combined those four into a survey and into a phone survey for ease of use. And that survey has gone out over the past month. So I sincerely thank anybody that has had a call from Ipsis Reid in late June and early July and didn't hang up the phone. I really, really appreciate that. I had to give my dad quite a talk that he was not allowed to hang up the phone. Sure enough, he wanted to, but I said, no, you can't do that. My job is in the balance. But anyway, so we have completed those 400 surveys, and we'll have that data in hand early in August. And from that data, or that survey was made collaboration of the different international sustainability programs and standards that are out there. So we will have a clear idea of, first of all, how familiar Alberta farmers are with international sustainability standards and maybe the opportunities that exist with them, but also some of the questions that would be asked in going through and actually being verified through one of these standards. And so we'll be able to see where Alberta farmers do really well, because we do have a very, very progressive, dynamic agriculture industry here in Alberta. And we'll also be able to see where we have opportunities for improvement. And those opportunities for improvement are what we're going to concentrate on over the next year and a half, and provide extension materials, tools, information, those kind of things, and will be put out through existing extension avenues such as Farming Smarter. The Ag Research Associations are excellent venues, but also through our counties too, and our commissions. And so that information is what I'll be working on over the next little bit, and that's what will be put out. We'll also be doing a follow-up survey that will be very similar, if not identical, to what we've just done, and that will give us a good idea about how much we've progressed over the past year and a half. And as much as audit and verification are nasty, nasty words, a lot of the questions that are asked are around best management practices that often have economic returns on your farm as is, in terms of water contamination, proper fertilizer application, chemical storage, things like that, and that most people are already doing. And so we're heavy on the environmental end, and I'm sure many are familiar, if not have gone through the Environmental Farm Plan program. But we also have included some stuff on the other two pillars, so things around on-farm training, and if you have employees and things like that. So that those results will be coming out, and we'll be seeing those, and you'll be seeing a little bit more of me at some of the events across the province. Alberta, with this project, we are not looking to put together a standard and tell you that you have to abide by it. Alberta will not be championing a marketing program through a sustainability initiative anytime soon. That'll be a national thing if and when that comes about, and that'll be on the table at the Canadian Roundtable for Sustainable Crops. Will not be part of this project. Our goals are to increase producer awareness around some of these sustainable sourcing programs and standards that some of our major retailers like Unilever and the PepsiCo family of products, they're starting to look at things like this, and many of these major retailers have an entire page dedicated saying how sustainable they are and how sustainable their farmers are. Something that we're seeing more and more demand for, and something that's not going away anytime soon. It'll continue to increase as we've seen in other parts of the world. We're also not saying that this is something you absolutely must do, but it's good to have some awareness around it. It could have a financial incentive in terms of marketing, and we'll have more of that information available later this fall and over the next year. We'll be wrapping up the first quarter of 2018, and we'll have those results later that year in terms of how we've done, and if we're going to continue with some of that work. This will be purely an educational extension working group, of course, and so we'll just be looking at putting more information into Alberta producer hands, and it'll be up to you what you would like to do with it. With that, I'll take any questions you have. You can also talk to me later on today. I'll be leaving a little bit early just to catch my flight, but other than that, I'll be around before lunch and a little bit after. So if you have any questions now, I can take them or talk to you later.